Welcome to Teach and Travel, a YouTube channel where we talk about teaching and traveling around the globe. Now, today's topic is going to be something that we didn't talk about in the past, but I think it's a question that on everybody's mind. Everybody who's ever learned a foreign language asks herself or himself this question: what is the best way to learn a foreign language? Now, in this episode, we'll talk about English language in particular, but things that we're going to touch on will apply to any language, any foreign language basically. So the question that many people ask is, what is the best way? What is the most efficient way to learn a foreign language? And now I've been there myself, tried many approaches, books, tutors, online courses, well, you name it. After many years of practice, I think I got the answer, at least in my opinion. The best way, as many people guess, is to learn a language, a foreign language, in the environment where this language is spoken as a first language. To give an example, if you learn English language, the best way will be to go and spend some time in the country where English is spoken as the first language. Given that it's not always possible to travel to a place where language is spoken as a first language, the best that you can do with is to get exposure to the authentic language, language that is spoken in real life. Many times when we study, we begin to study a foreign language, we go ahead and stock up on textbooks or video materials or learning materials basically. In my experience, these things that I learned through the textbooks, through the learning materials, they don't actually stick to your memory. I don't know why, but they just forget those things. If they were vocabulary or grammar, whatever you study, you just forget it. And the things that stay with you, the thing that are like cement in your memory, are those things that you either became a part of, or you experienced them, or you lived through them. And like I said before, it's not always possible to go and live in a foreign country for an extended period of times, but what you can do, you can try and emulate this experience by means of movies and by means of authentic materials. I started off with listening to audiobooks. I listened to lots and lots of audiobooks where I got this exposure. The audiobook that I listened to was not learning materials. What I mean by that, they were not designed for learners of English as a foreign language. I just listened to audiobooks I liked. I started off with really simple ones, and I progressed further on to listen to authentic books, not edited to or not simplified for learners of English as a foreign language. So I moved on and I started watching movies in English language in my case, but like I said before, it could be applicable to any language you learn. So in my opinion, the best way, the most efficient way to learn a foreign language is to watch movies where there's a lot of conversation going on, different life situations where language is used in an authentic environment. Think about it. If you go to a foreign country, language, and it basically it surrounds you, and whenever you go, you become a part of a situation where this language is used. If you go to the cinema, then you will use and you will hear vocabulary that is used in the cinema. If you go to the hospital, go to the bank, go to the restaurant, basically, depending on the situation, you will hear and you will be using the language that is, natural for this environment. And so by watching movies, you basically see those situations, see those environments, and the language that is used in these environments, the authentic and natural language. Is not taking away from this environment and put into the textbook for you to learn. You actually hear language in the natural environment. So what I suggest you do is watch authentic movies and then pick up this vocabulary, pick up this grammar and all those things from the natural environment, the environment where this vocabulary is used. Now, in my experience, I enjoyed watching Friends. I've met many people who are much like me, enjoyed this American sitcom, and this is what I used to, I can't even say I use it, I just watched Friends, and whenever I came across a phrase or a vocabulary or something that picked up my interest, I stopped, I translated it, if I didn't know the translation, and then I just remember it. And the good thing about learning vocabulary this way, learning language this way, not only vocabulary, grammar as well, is that you can see it being used right there in the situation where it is again natural and authentic, rather than picking up from the textbook, where even though it can be used in the context, but still it sticks to your mind. You know, the whole, not only vocabulary, but the whole situation, the context, you know, all those things, they come into play, and they play a huge role in, you know, in making this vocabulary stick to your memory for, you know, for a long period of time. So what I'm gonna do, I will try a new course on my channel where we'll be looking at Friends, at different episodes, different situations of Friends, and try to pick up some vocabularies, try to pick up some conversation phrases, some casual, some informal phrases, which I think we all study language for, to be able to communicate, to, you know, to sound authentically, to use language that is natural, that sounds in place. So just to summarize what I've been talking about, there are many ways to go about. There are many ways when it comes. There are many approaches and effective ways when it comes to learning a foreign language. In my humble opinion, learning language by watching movies is the best way, because you can see and hear language being used in a natural environment where it should be used. And when you see that, you see the situation where this language is used, and it sticks to your mind because you see language in a context. It's much wider than just see a single word in a textbook or learning a table of vocabulary. This language is, well, for the lack of a better word, is dead. Whereas when you see it in the context, it's live, it's vibrant, it's, you know, it's spoken with emotions. It just sticks to a memory, and you want to use it. And when you are in the same situation when this language was used, you're going to use it one more time, and it will be so perfect in place. It will sound in place, it will be natural, and just great. I'm going to release my first lesson, see if you like it, and then leave me a comment if you want to continue. All right, thank you guys for checking out our channel. It was Teach and Travel, a YouTube channel where we talk about teaching and traveling around the world. See you guys later.